How good are you at playing the game? Yep, the game of life. In the last couple of days, I've been so busy doing all kind of activities. So my stream, tutoring, been working and helping other people. It was Earth Day. Today went to see a movie. This morning was a hike with friends. This weekend has been very busy. So in some ways, playing the game of life, doing things that we enjoy as we go along. The question is sometimes, do we question the rules of the game so that you can see what else you can do to improve what is happening? And in this last week, I've been thinking about a lot of the key points of what I can do, not only to play the game better, but also choosing new strategies to play the game. So I was looking at what would be good strategies. Well, indeed, we are talking about health often, knowing that if we want to be having all the energy of the world, part of the game is to take care of our bodies. That means that we need to choose the rules for the way we move, the way we have energy expenditure, but we also need to play with the rules of nutrient intakes. That means that eating great food, trying new recipes, and eating with friends, so that at the end of the day, eating is no longer something you do so that you can live, but eating is a place for nourishment, nourishment for our body and nourishment for our goals. And the only way to do that is to be present when we are eating, when we're cooking. I don't know if you're like me, but ever so often the days get busy, and what do? We eat on the run. I have lunch on my desk, and I work at the same time. And what happens is at the end of the day, I'm a bit tired, or more tired than I could be. And the reason for that is there's all these ideas of what can I do next? What's the next step to be ready? So the idea is the best way to play the game with respect to our health is to be present. So if you are going for a hike outside in nature, be present with nature. If you go to the gym, be present with the movements you do so that you can be healthier. These are all interesting points to keep in mind. If you choose to to have new rules with respect to food, well, appreciate the fact that when you go to the grocery store, this is like the best and most filled pantry in the world. You can choose what you want. There's a variety. And what happened is you can try new recipes so that you can be excited about cooking a meal. And then while cooking the meal, you are also appreciating what you're doing and for who you're doing it. Because ultimately, a meal is there for people to learn to appreciate each other's presence, conversations, but also be there for so that at the end of the meal you are energized, not only by food, but energized for your spirit is energized to go to the next step. I think that is quite important, and for that, you can choose new rules. There's so many recipe books out there. I'm sure you can play with that a little bit. With respect to wealth, because I do like to think about health, wealth, and relationships, when you think of wealth, you have to say, okay, there's a game out there. The game is for you to feel fulfilled with what you do in your life, in your company, in your job. And on top of being fulfilled, you feel that you're being a service, contributing to society, but also you want that to be fulfilling you as well. And indeed, if you have a job, the idea is what can you do to bring new rules in the game? So, learning a new skill so that you can try something different, meeting new people in your workplace so that you can collaborate with different people to make it fun. And also, if you have your own company, maybe finding a way to meet new people, new clients, so that you can not only continue playing the game, but trying to say, okay, how can I choose to make the game more exciting? Because if it's a game of life, there you go. You need to make sure that whatever you do in your day makes it exciting. So that is important. And the more you meet people, the more you'll be able to get ideas. And the more ideas you have, the better it will be for your company, the better it will be for your job, the better it will be for maybe even as a student or a teenager wanting to look for the best plan for the future. Because some of you are aiming to get a job as teenagers, other people are aiming to get their own companies, other people are aiming to do different things, being a doctor, an engineer, an electrician. So many things to do to be out there. And what is important is to know that in some ways there's our rules to follow, but in some ways we can choose to bring in uh, the rules that applies to ourselves so that we can make every day exciting. The third point is about relationship. Now, too often we say, well, we are with who we are, and we go to school, we meet different people, we're part of masterminds, we're part of uh, religious groups, and what happens is we are with people that can bring us so much, but at the same time, you can bring them so much as well. So the idea here is as we are moving forward with relationships, we need to look at what are what are the rules that you're choosing to do so that you can bring more, as I mentioned earlier, more collaboration with different groups of people in different departments from different interests, so that if there is something that you're trying to solve and like a problem you want to solve in your company, then you can have as many perspectives as possible. I do love this idea of think tanks. When you have large companies, you get people from different departments, and you have a few questions, and you try to say, okay, knowing that we all aim to achieve the same thing, the same vision, what are the things we could do, even though it may not seem possible at this time? As part of a think tank, one person brings an idea that leads to another one, and that I think is what makes group work collaboration do so amazingly well. With respect to your inner circle, keep in mind that it's always good to meet new people as well. Meeting new people makes it that you change a little bit the rules of day-to-day life. Because if you want new ideas, new opportunities, then you sometimes have to go outside of your comfort zone. And that brings, so if your company maybe going to a new group of clients or new group of people, companies that you haven't thought of before, and just expand your market. If you are studying, for example, in a school and university, taking a course that is different, so you can learn something that is different and expand your perspective. That's quite important as well. And with respect to relationship, keep in mind that if you are in a relationship, um, and therefore it's important for you to see, can you play with the rules so that you can bring some fun to your relationship? Because keep in mind that going for a hike out there, going for a play date, playtime, having fun, and is important. And not just with a group of people. If you are with one person in particular, try to see what you can do, what you can choose to do to make that relationship exciting, making sure that the game of life is positive for you. So today's topic is this idea that life is a bit of a game, and sometimes the game is not easy, sometimes it's rewarding, sometimes it's puzzling. And the question is, what are we planning to do to make it better? And this is to look at, and here is to choose your next step, to choose what rules you want to play with so that you can make your next step more exciting. So that means that for your health, choose to do the activities that will make yourself better, choose the food that will make you better, and also making sure that your body and soul are in link, in sync. There you go, with your next step. With respect to wealth, try to see if you can learn new skills so that you can expand the rules of the games. That's important. And with respect to relationships, keeping in mind that when you want to play, it's so much more fun if there are other people with you. You might realize that you might better define your vision, where you want to go, but also getting people with you, meeting new people that will be excited to go along your journey. On this, I'm going to put here a link to a video on the idea that we want to go to the next step.